Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So summer is approaching and the weather here in London is starting to warm up just a little bit. So I wanted to show you a look that I've been wearing a lot lately. When I think of summer, I think of bronze, glowy, healthy looking skin and gold shimmery tones on the eyes. Personally, I think this is quite minimal makeup, so I'd happily wear it during the day, but that's just me. Anyway, let's jump straight into the tutorial. So to start off, I'm going to hydrate my skin with some coconut oil. I've spent a lot of time in the sun lately, so my skin's pretty dry. This is my favourite brand of coconut oil, and I will link it down below. Then to make my skin look glowy and luminous, I'm going to be taking MAC's Natural Radiance Base Luminaire in the shade Radiant Yellow, and I'm just applying that all over my face like I would with moisturiser. For foundation, it may come as no surprise to some of you that I'm using my MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation, and I'm taking one pump of Nc30 and one pump of Nc50 to create my perfect shade. And as always, I'm using my flat top kabuki brush to blend that all out. I would really love to be able to use a beauty blender to blend this out because I feel like it would be a lot more hydrating for the skin and add to that summery glowiness. But I just can't use a beauty blender for my foundation. I find that I use so much product and it just doesn't give me the coverage that I like. Anyways, moving on to concealer, I'm taking my Pro Conceal and Correct palette from MAC and I am in the shade Medium Deep. I'm going to use the two lighter shades from the palette. They're kind of similar to my skin tone at the moment. They're not too much lighter. This is because I'm not really into highlighting at the moment. I've got quite a tan and I want to enhance that tan. Whereas I feel like if I highlight too much, it kind of takes away from that. So I'm just using a little bit of this concealer and then I'm going to set it with Ben Nye banana powder just to keep it in place all day. And I'm not going to bake today because, as I said, I don't want to enhance the highlight. I just want to set it in place. So I'm going to dust it off straight away and move on to bronzer. The bronzer that I'm using is the MAC Give Me Some bronzer. I love this bronzer. It's very warm tone, so it's perfect for my colour at the moment. And I am placing it in the areas that I would contour, but I'm not actually contouring. I'm just using this to warm up my face and bring some dimension and life back into the skin. And then I'm going to take this shade Sun Bunny in the Bonjour Soleil palette by Too Faced. And I'm going to use that to go over the top of the Give Me Sun. It's got a lot more of a shimmer than the Give Me Sun, so it gives us that nice sun-kissed look. And now I'm about to up the amp on the Golden Glow. And I'm going to take the Extra Dimension Skin Finish from MAC and Mariah Carey in the shade My Mimi. And I'm going to use that to go over the top of that bronzer and on the blush area. I think the Mariah Carey collection was my favourite collection from MAC ever. I managed to get everything apart from the blushes and the loose powder. And then to highlight, I'm going to be taking Champagne Pop by Becca and Jaclyn Hill. And if you don't know who Jaclyn Hill is, where have you been? She is amazing. She's my favourite YouTuber. I love watching her videos. And I hear she's coming out with her own makeup line, which excites me greatly because Champagne Pop is hands down my favourite highlighter by far. So I'm just placing that on the tops of my cheekbones and above the arch of my eyebrow, and it literally gives you a pop of champagne colour. And then for blush, I'm going to be taking my Zoeva Coral Spectrum palette and I'm mixing those two shades there and placing them on the apples of my cheek. And I felt like the colour was a little bit too intense, so I just went over the top of it with the previous brush I used just to kind of blend it out a little bit. So I'm just going to do my eyebrows off camera and then come back to the eyeshadow. And to start off with, I'm going to take the shade Coral by MAC and use this in the crease as our transition colour. Sorry about the lighting. It got really dark outside, so I had to put other lights on. And then for extra warmth in that crease, I'm going to be taking this rusty orange shade from Inglot. I think it's number 37, but I'll link the number down below. And I'm using the same Sigma E40 brush, E40? Yes, it's E40, to blend that in my crease, just to add a bit of warmth, a bit of transition, nothing too intense. So you see I go back and forth in windscreen wiper motions, and then I use circular motions just to buff it out and make it nice and blown out and not too harsh. And then I'm going to take my favourite MAC shade, which is saddle, and I use it in every tutorial I feel. But I'm going to use this to add depth to the crease, which is something that I always do. It's actually a little bit too light for me at the moment, so I had to really work to build it up, but I still love it nonetheless. Now, one thing I don't normally do is put a shimmer colour in my crease. I don't feel like it's very flattering, but with this particular look, I feel like it works. It gives you a very fresh J-Lo vibe, and I'm all about that life. So I'm going to take the MAC Warm Neutrals palette, and I'm taking the shade Divine Decadence, and I'm going to place that in my crease. It's kind of a cool tone brown colour, so it adds a little bit of depth, but not too much drama. I still want this look to be very bright-eyed and not too dark, intense, or dramatic. And then I'm going to take this cute little palette, which my lovely friend Chloe bought for me. Thank you, Chloe. It's from Benefit and it's called The Rich is Back. I think it's probably limited edition and not available anymore. But I'm just taking the gold shade. You can use any gold shade. And I'm just placing that over the top of my eyelid. And then I felt like I wanted it to be a little bit more of a yellowy, orangey gold. So I went back in with my MAC palette and I took Amber Lights and just placed that over the top. And as always, I always go back with my fluffy brush just to blend everything out and make sure it's nice and seamless. And then to highlight the inner corner of my eye, I'm taking Champagne Pop and just placing that in the inner corner and blending it slightly upwards and curving it round into the crease. So I'm just lightly defining my lower lash line with a bit of the Inglot orange shade. I don't want it to be too dark. I still want very bright eyes, so I'm not going too heavy with it, but I do want a bit of a defined lower lash line. I don't want my lash line to be completely blank, so just taking a minimum I give up, a minimal amount of that shadow, and I'm placing that underneath my lower lash line. And then for mascara, I'm going to be taking the Benefit They're Real mascara, which in my opinion is the best mascara ever. Some days I go out with just mascara and no lashes. That's how good it is. Where have you been all my life? I'm just coating my top and my bottom lashes with that. If you haven't tried this mascara, try it and let me know what you think, because it, honest to God, has changed my life. Okay, maybe it hasn't changed my life, but it's a very good mascara and I like it. Okay, for lip liner, I'm taking Stripdown, my favourite lip liner of all time. I feel like there's been a lot of favourites in this video, but honestly, this is a very nice lip liner. It's very nude, very simple, gives you nice definition, and then I'm going to be taking MAC Pink Plaid, I'm not sure, Plaid, and I'm just filling in my lips with that, and then going back in with the liner to blend them together. And then I wanted it to be a little bit more glossy, a little bit more peachy, so I went over the top with a little bit of freckletone from MAC. I feel like the lashes I used in this video really made the look. They're from Luxe Obsession and they're called Liliana. They are super long, feminine, fluttery, girly, and they really open the eye up. Lashes like these are my favourite style of lashes. I love the sparseness of them and they're really well made, so you can get a lot of wears out of them before they start to look a bit funny and start to break down. And then finally, to set that all in place and add some hydration and glowiness, I'm going to be taking my MAC Fix Plus and spritzing that all over my face. And that is the finished look. I hope you guys like this tutorial. As always, everything I use will be linked down below. My big curly hair tutorial will also be linked down below because I get a lot of comments on my hair, so you can check that out if you want to know how to get hair like this. And that's it from me for now. So take care, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!